Alright, hello and welcome to Disability in Screenwriting Workshop, where we talk about all disabilities. If you're new here, I have a PowerPoint that I will go through and just, talk about what we do here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I forgot to share it to Discord. I knew I had forgotten something. Give me a second. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, you can click the link in the description to join us in our live classroom. And I'm hoping that will work. Not yet. There we go. Okay. So disabilities are one of the most misrepresented and misunderstood minorities in the media, and when those stereotypes are portrayed, they can cause harm to society, to people who actually are disabled. People of any age, gender, religion, race, or socioeconomic background can be disabled, and yet we don't see this represented in the media. I've seen a lot in the news recently about people's reactions, disabled people's reactions when they see themselves in the media. Just yesterday, actually, I heard about this student in a wheelchair who I think was about 6 years old, who saw a teacher in a wheelchair, and she was just, her mind was blown that, she could be a teacher, even as a wheelchair user. So, just examples like that show you how important it is to be seeing people like you in different industries and different places in the media, So that's part of the reason why this workshop exists. It's about trying to encourage more disability to be shown in the media, but also to make sure that any representation that is shown isn't harmful. Now, we are very open about all topics of all kinds, and that can include really sensitive questions. In a second I'll put on the disclaimer, but basically all questions are allowed, provided they're asked respectfully. And we also ask that, because this is a voluntary thing that we do, and it's all about people giving and receiving. So, if you want to receive, make sure you're giving as well to the server, to other people on the server. And remember that we're all here to learn and improve. For the purposes of this workshop, there are 5 types of disabilities, not just physical. There's also intellectual, sensory, and attending disabilities, and we also look at mental health. All are equally welcome. This is one of 2 workshops that we do. We rotate between ScriptCamp and WordCamp, the former being this one, which is for screenwriting, and the latter being for primarily novel writing, but any form of media that isn't screenwriting. We welcome disabled and able-bodied people alike. We meet every Saturday, and again we rotate between ScriptCamp and WordCamp, 8 AM Pacific, 11 AM Eastern, 4 PM in London. And yeah, we look at the same things in both workshops. Your disabled characters in a screenplay. This isn't a class, this is more of a workshop where we try and help writers to write better characters, so we can workshop your characters. Willow is very good at doing that, and sort of making sure that the characters are more than just a disabled person, but a real human being. Or we've had fantasy stuff, so dragons or whatever your character is. Real characters, I'll say that. And disabled people here among us are more than welcome to share relevant experiences that they've lived, to help give examples and stuff like that. And we might create characters from prompts, and so yeah, and review characters in existing TV and film. Next week we'll meet on WordCamp for disability in fiction. If you were here 2 weeks ago, I posted a a picture in the disability feedback channel. I reminded you, but we didn't get any, we got one submission from Willow. We'll post another one at the end of today's session, and it's for everyone to submit up to 5 pages, and the day before the next Disability and Screenwriting workshop, so 2 weeks on Friday, Willow and or me will decide who the winner is. They will receive 5 script coins, and the other participant will receive 2 coins. Any other participants will receive 2 coins. And also in that same feedback channel, you are more than welcome to create, to post your own work that you would like feedback on. As I said earlier, we are open to all topics, all questions, as long as they're asked respectfully. That does mean that there is potential to discuss sensitive and potentially triggering topics, including mental health, addiction, trauma, and abuse. And if things get too heavy for you, you are more than welcome to leave at any point. So yeah, now that is out of the way. In just a second, I will open the floor up to other people who are looking for feedback. So there we go. But first, I want us to read Willow's submission. Since she was the only one who posted, Willow, are you happy for your writing prompt to be read? Should probably check that first.
Sure, go ahead.
Cool. So our prompt was a man with a prosthetic leg. What's that called? Not waterboarding. Water skiing, I think.
Yeah, water skiing.
Waterboarding is something entirely different. And so we had this open for 2 weeks, and Willow was the only one who submitted. So we'll read it out. So it looks like we have just 2 characters. And you know, I'll read the whole thing since it's mainly action lines. Exterior, Lake Kaya, day. The sun glistens off the calm waters of a lake. Boats drive around as families enjoy the beautiful day. A speedboat sits idling with 3 occupants. Boat. Mother Serena driving, daughter Patricia, 12, engrossed in her phone, and son Michael, 15, watching off the back as a spotter. Water. At the end of 2 tow lines, Father Arnold bobs in the water with daughter Sophia. Both wear skis. Whenever you're ready, give a signal. Sophia steals herself, gripping the tow rope's handle. She whips to Michael. Boat. Michael calls his mother. She drives forward. Water. Arnold helps Sophia as they are pulled into an upright position. Only now we see that Arnold's right leg is a waterproof prosthetic leg, specifically designed for skiing. I did it, Daddy. Arnold beams. Yes, you did, Sophia. Yes, you did. End of extract. Thank you very much, Willow, for submitting. I will give you your 5 coins. This was in our disability feedback channel. Let me read. I forgot to read the chat. Any feedback for Willow? Hang on, let me add you to the role. There you go. You should be able to access it now, Leopoldo.
Joe, can I interrupt you just a moment? I want to respond to something because I really, really love this, and I kind of want to add to it. Talking about but I'd love to have a little child see themselves and feel represented in my work, and that is wonderful. And yes, that is wonderful. But I'd also like to add, it's also good for adults to be able to see themselves in their work. One thing, or it's important for adults to see themselves in media as well. Adults can also be very impressionable, and one thing that is really, really lacking is, for example, a disabled character as a love interest, or as someone who is sexually desirable, something like that. So, yes, absolutely, it's good for kids to be able to see themselves, but it's also good for adults as well.
Do I have something to tell you?
Okay.
One of my characters is exactly that. He is a disabled person who is going to eventually become a love interest to someone.
I'm loving that. Absolutely.
And he is extremely suave and like very romantic towards like everyone, because all of my characters are pansexual until proven otherwise.
Cool. I love that. I love that there's disabled people who want to have romantic relationships, because again, that's not seen in the media. Yeah, very cool.
I just didn't want to make him disabled dude the character. I wanted to make him, plastic and somehow have more than just the disability to talk about him. Like, I would say that the fact that he has a prosthetic, because he has a prosthetic, totally coincidental, by the way, is like, I think not even second, but like the 10th thing you would notice about him, the way I want him to be written.
That's really good. I like that as well.
I'm sitting back here going, I'm so happy. Yes.
Cool. Sorry, go with it.
Sorry. One thing I will mention, you mentioned like how his disability would be like the 10th thing you'd notice about him. The kind of more reality is that strangers will notice a disability immediately. It's the first thing they see. But the more you get to know someone and see someone and you see their character and such, then that it just kind of disappears and just becomes normal, and you kind of sort of don't see it even when it's right in front of you.
If it's okay, I found a description, the first description of the character that I have in my writing, and it's really short. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. I can post it in the words are hard chat.
We are going to be going over your work, so I'm going to leave that to Joel as to how he wants to schedule things, but we are absolutely going to be looking at some of your work, your characters today.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see it, but not yet. Just because I want to try and do one thing at a time. If anyone's got any feedback for Willow for her prompt, now is the time.
Like it. It's not forced. It's just there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, like you say, it's not the first thing that you notice about them. And it's not presented as an issue particularly. It's just a fact about that person. I like that too.
Well, I have some issues with it. There's a line of missed dialogue that there was supposed to be dialogue. It says that Michael calls out to his mother, but then we never see either a further description of the calls, and we don't see the actual dialogue of him doing it. So it's telling us and it's not showing us. So I have some issues about Willow's work. And
Thank
yes,
you for your
I'm
feedback,
Willow.
Renee. And there was I think it would have been nice to have a bit more character script, just a bit about what they look like, maybe. It's a very short submission, so there's not a lot of character, obviously. But yeah, I think it's good. I don't see any issues with it, and I do like that. Thank you very much for submitting. That makes you by default the winner. I will post another writing prompt at the end of today's session. Oh, not sure why you don't have access either. Give me a second.
Oh, I fixed it just now.
Oh, you got it. Okay, cool. I thought you already had the rule. Let me make sure everyone else is while I'm here. There you go. I think you should all have access. Sorry, that's my train of thought. Eden, did you want to go over your characters now?
Yeah, okay. So I guess I will start with the one I already talked about. So let me just if you don't mind, I'll put the description thing into the chat.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a screenshot from my script. Well, not my script. It's actually a novel going to be eventually. So basically, it's narrated in first person. So the person narrating it already knows everybody around them, and they are. They're. I was going for kind of a little bit of an unreliable narrator because obviously they're in on the action and everything about them is subjective, but also like this guy also is one of the disabled people because he is very autistic and kind of a self-insert because I also am a lot on the tism. So I found it very easy to write from a perspective of that kind of thing. But yeah. So
Okay. So yeah. So tell us a bit about your character and what are you struggling with specifically?
well, the first thing that is striking about this guy in particular is the fact that he is very tall and looks like a very strong person, because I am a sucker for the gentle giant trope. Just guilty. And he's basically a teddy bear first and foremost. Also, he has an accent which also draws attention to itself. And like I said, the 11th thing about him is that he has a prosthetic arm that is made. This is a little bit of a fantasy sci-fi kind of thing, and his ability is talking to machines. So his arm is basically an extension of that ability. And the way he received his disability, he wasn't born that way. He was trying to fix something, and he got his arm ripped off for his troubles.
Okay, cool.
Oh, also he's a raging pacifist, so he never uses. He could potentially because it's like liquid metal, so it can. He does possess the ability to change it into like a weapon of mass destruction if he so chooses, but he would never do that.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a bit about the story as a whole, maybe?
So the story is about basically, well, quote unquote children. I am. They are the youngest one is Naveen, the narrator, and he is 19. Also, there's a 6-year-old girl, but that's besides the point. And they are adoptive children of a fae by the name of Eden. I use her name as my screen name. And she is one of the green-eyed fae, which are fae that are told to protect children. In my case, the green-eyed is more of a not a descriptor because she doesn't have green eyes. She's a shapeshifter. She can, but she doesn't have to. And it's like a rank amongst the fae. You can choose to be one of the green-eyeds, basically, if you are one. If you are a fae. And she is a conscientious objector of stealing children and swapping them for fae children. So basically, the kids that she is taking care of are the children that have been swapped for fae children, and they have developed abilities based on their surroundings. So there's Naveen, who is a prophet. He can see into the future and the past. Like I said, when he is he has the ability to talk to machines. And there is Ro, who is also disabled. She is blind in one eye, and she can summon the Rainbow Bridge. Yes, that is a blatant reference.
Okay, cool. Any questions for Eden?
Blanked out for a second. How did you say he lost his arm? I think
Well,
it was...
I didn't actually say it, but it will be revealed in the story that he was trying to fix a generator that would eventually blow up, and basically he had his arm had a hero's death.
Oh, okay.
For lack of a better word.
Okay. I know it's like not necessary to add in the story inherently, but I just remember you explaining it, but I just was unconscious for that 30 seconds, I guess.
It happens. Brain go burr sometimes. It's okay. And yeah, I just said he got it ripped off. Like, he's not born disabled, unlike Ro, who is. She was born blind in one eye. Also, thank you for all the gushing about him. I appreciate that.
I am liking this. I love so let's see, this character. So his name is Win?
Yes. It's short for Darwin, as in evolution. He evolved to be better.
His
given name is Ramesses Lacroix.
Oh, Okay. All right, sounds good. I like this description, but there's one line that kind of holds, I don't know, feels different. His brown skin contrasted with the bluish silvery metal right arm. Like, I don't know, like a lot of this other word, a lot of the other sentences feel like, you said it's from his point of view. This doesn't feel like it's from his point of view. It feels like
No. It's from a different character's point of view. The other character is the narrator at this point. Win isn't. There is another person describing Win.
Okay, got it. Again, bluish. So, okay, so the narrator likes holding on to Win's prosthetic arm.
Yes,
That's right? Okay.
because
Okay.
he's autistic and he enjoys the sensory feeling of it being different.
That makes sense. That makes logical sense. And your other character, she's blind, but she has like the power of the
She's
rainbow.
blind in one eye, and she can summon the rainbow bridge and also talk to crows. I forgot that. She's basically Norse mythology, the reference.
I am all right. That sounds good.
I didn't want to specifically give her Odin's powers per se, but her name is Rowena, which is the female equivalent of Odin.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually pretty interesting.
I do insane amounts of research just to name a character. Like the narrator, his name is Naveen Ilfed, and Naveen is the Hebrew word for prophets, plural, and Ilfled is Delphi spelled backwards.
That's cool. I do love names that are references yet not same. I like that. I've got a lot of that in mind. Anyway, that's cool. All right, I've got a question more about not necessarily your story, but your world and your characters. Win. What does he do in this world? Does he have a job, a hobby, a role? What kind of things does he like to do or enjoy, or goals does he have in the story, more relating to his character? Like, is he a lawyer or a mechanic or a blacksmith or a teacher? What kind of role does he have in this world?
First and foremost, he is 22, so he is one of the quote-unquote kids. The problem with the world is that there has something has transpired, and the person who was in charge of the machines is now missing. So Win had to step up and be the fixer of the things, basically, and that is mainly due to the fact that the leader of this group, Eden, is a Fae, and they are very much not into machinery. So she's kind of stupid in that way. So he has to help her out a lot with this, which he doesn't mind because he can just tell the machines to do the thing, and that's fine. The smaller children, he's in charge of the nursery by his own accord, and he is kind of like simultaneously the muscle and the heart of the group. because he has a very strong moral compass. Like, he wouldn't hurt a fly, but also he can make himself look intimidating if need be.
I'm loving this. You're hitting all the check marks that I love. Yeah, I really, really like this. How about Rowena? What kind of things does she like, or role does she play? Or
She's the hold my beer character.
What?
She's the hold my beer character, jumping face first into any kind of conflict. And she is, by the way, she is very small. She's a very small lady, and like, she has this prominent feature that I gave her. She has very large breasts, and she knows how to use them. So she can be the bard of the group, or the feisty little thing that's gonna jump into your face and punch it several times. She's also conscientious about the environment. So on top of being a smoker, she always makes a little rainbow bridge that puts her cigarette butts straight into the nearest trash can. That's like a thing she does. Oh, also, Win hates the rainbow bridges. He also always froze up when he goes through them, and she makes fun of him for that in a loving, sisterly manner.
Cool. I love these characters. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see more of the story. I find them intriguing. I find the world intriguing, and I feel like these characters are well written. They are well representative.
My God, you just made my heart pound. Thank you.
So I just want to clarify things that I tend to be, and Joel mentioned it. I am kind of a stickler about characters.
Mm-hmm.
And, particularly disabled characters. One, they need to have a purpose, a goal, a hobby. For me to see someone's well-rounded, they need to have some kind of a role. We all have things that we enjoy and things that we hate. Even if it's not entirely relevant to the plot, we all have a role in society one way or another, or hobbies, whatever. But it's also important for those things to not necessarily be related to the disability. So the Rainbow Bridge is a form of transportation,
Yes.
as I take it, which is controlled by someone who is blind in one eye. And I love that. A lot of more blind characters, like they have got the super hearing or something. For her, it's transportation, and I love that. Plus, an interest in battling and maybe a temper.
Yes, very much a temper.
I absolutely love that.
The thing about them is that she grew up with Naveen, and Naveen got bullied a lot as a kid because he's the scrawny intellectual. And it's basically, I grew up with this guy. I had to learn to fight at an early age.
Okay. Wow.
And it's also a little bit of a subversion because the girl does the punching, and and the guy just stands there trying to de-escalate the situation with words.
Yeah, this was something I don't know the right way about it. What Grace says, and I have heard this too, but using food to describe the skin tone of a person of color.
Oh, I see.
I don't have any such authority on that, and I can't speak. And that is something that I did notice, but I'm going to let someone else.
Okay, I will put it out there. I am the descendant of cream cheese. I have no horse in this race. If I have to be corrected, please do.
Oh,
Look,
thank you.
sources.
Yes, sources are great, because honestly, this is a great question.
Okay, that's going in my notes.
Mine too.
Thank you. Alrighty. POC. Okay. Thank you. This is going to be very helpful.
Joel, do you have anything you want to add or correct? Anything like that?
So far, I don't have anything to correct you. You've been asking questions and giving me very good feedback, so thank you.
No, I was asking Joel.
Oh.
Joel. He's the one leading, and I kind of took over.
No, I'm more than happy for you to take over. Willow, you know that I'm always very happy when you take over. No, I don't see any problems with this, and I think it's interesting, and as Willow said, you have really great characterization, and, you know, they all have their own, like, traits and personalities, and, you know, you clearly thought a lot about the characters, and from what it sounds like, your disabled characters, their disability isn't the primary thing about them, which is always good. Yeah, I don't have anything to add. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have
It was
anything,
very, thank you.
cool. If you have anything else, then you can come back to us, and we'll try and help you. Alright, so if anyone else has any anything they would like help with, any characterization, any storylines, any, you know, anything related to disability.
Yeah, for me, I myself have a disability of sorts, but it's a rather obscure one called hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. Basically, a brain injury from birth. But I guess it's just I've been trying to find out more about it and debating on whether I should like kind of clarify that in some of my stories, because in a lot of my stories it's the main character is kind of an avatar of myself a little bit, and I'm wondering, if I clarify this, will this make some of the problems that the character has make a little more sense, or is the is the character relatable universally on his own, that kind of thing. And yeah, and I've been trying to look up more info about it just to try and make it accurate as I can, but it's pretty limited, and it's usually either talking about when either a baby that has it, or somebody who gets encephalopathy as an adult, not somebody who's lived with it since they were a kid, basically. And I'm wondering if anybody had any suggestions for resources, or maybe any suggestions of, should I try and add that in, or should I perhaps just kind of leave it vague for now?
you are the expert on, first of all, your own story and your own disability. Having lived through it, you live with it, you know what is needed. There is something that a problem that I have encountered, and I've had to kind of look for a balance. And Dan will be able to back me up on this, I think, is writing a disabled character, but and even when stating it outright, the reader can they can still forget that the character is disabled. At the same time, you don't want to overemphasize it to the point that it is, okay, we get it already. Quick, enough. Yet don't want to go that so far. What I think the sweet point is mentioning it. We're talking about it. And someone else with that specific disability would be able to pinpoint, yep, oh, I relate to that. Oh, yep, I relate to that. Yep. And I think that is kind of the sweet point, because you're not going to be able to please everyone in what how much disability you describe and how much you don't. You're never going to be able to find that sweet spot for everyone. So that is my advice on how much to put, and it's difficult and it's hard to balance. And we had talked a bit in chat, and as I said, when it comes to fantasy and science fiction, it could be literally anything. You could have an entire population. How would an entire population with this? Oh, how would that evolve? And how would what kind of things would they change in society to make themselves so that they could survive and thrive? I mean, you can literally do anything that your imagination can create. Since you are the expert on this, and there's not many stories about that or involving a character with such, then I say yes, 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 yes. Write it.
Okay, yeah. I guess my main worry was just like portraying it. Yeah, portraying it that balance, like portraying it in a way where it's like, okay, yeah, you see in the description how their disability like affects them, but yeah, like so far it's basically like had to have physical therapy. The motor skills of my hands are sometimes affected. Uh, and sometimes my attention wavers, and that's basically what I know so far. But I wasn't sure if it's like, oh, is that compelling enough? That kind of a thing. But yeah, I definitely get what you mean. Thank you.
So, one of the things that I think, like based on our previous conversation, was that you wanted to discuss or you wanted to talk about ideas. Like, did you already have ideas or characters in mind, specific things?
Yeah, I've been kind of debating on or trying to think of some ideas, and like one was like a fantasy type of idea, or both were kind of fantasy ideas, although one's more like grounded and realistic, and it's him escaping into his imagination. And then like another one's like he kind of encounters like a magical creature and kind of like uh but but he's kind of like worried about his place in the world and stuff like that, and like can he make an impact or whatnot, and it's like this encounter with this magical creature that would uh kind of show him that he could.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, I probably have to do some more research just to be totally sure, but yeah, it's just kind of difficult because what I've found so far uh is kind of vague. So I might have to talk to like a doctor or something like that about that further, just to get further clarification.
How would the magical creature changes to talking to him? Are they go on an adventure together?
Or what's that?
You said that meeting the magical creature, like, make him more confident about his place in the world?
Yeah, yeah, I think like one thing with my disability is like, yeah, it's kind of made some things difficult for me to do, and it's like it's kind of me into the mindset of like, oh, like can I do this? It's like, can I function as a regular adult? Can I leave an impact on the world of sorts or whatnot, uh, or that kind of thing, and just kind of debating on that. But I know that that kind of makes it like the disability the main thing about the character, which is what we're trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm. How do I sound now, guys?
Good.
Not a difference.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I'll just go get my microphone. But yeah, I can't really give too much great advice on how to balance the presence of the disability while not making it the focus, because I struggle with that as well. And again, as Willow said, I don't know your specific experience. So like you're probably your best source on that
Yeah,
in terms of information.
yeah. I think what I could possibly do is kind of like write down my past experiences with it, and then kind of do some research and kind of do some thinking about that further. See how I can incorporate that maybe.
So I think it sounds good. Um, Honestly, there's just like certain tropes that I don't know, kind of eagle eye for that. The using disabilities as a superpower, disability being an inspiration porn, um, or being a cause for villainy. So make sure your character doesn't have any of those traits, and you are already jumping way ahead. A lot of others. So I'd say it's a positive start so far. And as is mentioned, the more, I don't know if the right word would be obscure disabilities. I've definitely never heard of it, and there are so many, and kind of why we need more of these kind of stories. Um, we learn through stories. We learn to empathize through stories, and I don't know. We need more stories about the quote unquote obscure disabilities. There must be a better way to say that.
Rare disabilities.
Rare.
Yeah.
Rare disabilities. That's a better. Yeah.
What did you say your disability was called?
Oh, hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy.
Oh, yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
saying that in the chat. I can't
Yeah,
remember where you said it. And I remember looking it
there-
up.
Yeah, there's several different forms of encephalopathy, I think, but this one was the most like, yeah, that sounds. This was the one that I was able to trace down where it's like, yeah, that sounds exactly what happened. So
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can Google it again. Where was it? Where did you message that? Oh, there, I found it. Just because I'm always interested in various characters and various disabilities, so I'll look it up later on. But yeah, as Willow said, it's important that because I'm not concerned because you have the disability yourself, and so that means that you know better than any of us what that means for you as a person. If you want to mirror the character of you, there's nothing stopping you. I have a few characters that are, no, all of my characters are either based off of my friends in real life, or of me, or in some way. So I don't see a problem there. I guess if you're struggling, a good way to help you might be, would I want to be seen like this? Or would, that kind of thing.
yeah,
And I think that will help you as you write your character.
yeah, and I'd probably have to be careful and like if I went back to a previous story and kind of changing it so that I was including it, but like I was thinking of that with like my fantasy short Henry and the Fictionals, but if I did that with the fictional characters and stuff like that, that would open up a really bad can of worms. So it's like, oh, I'd like to make them psychotic. It's like, no, that's not it at all. That's not it at all. Just an imaginative thing. like accidentally cause some confusion and or unintentional stereotypes or something for myself or something.
All right. Well, this sounds good, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some things you write in the future.
Yep. Thank you.
Cool, thank you very much, Reggie Moore.
Yep. Thank you.
Let's open the floor up again to anyone who has any questions about a character that they're writing.
I have one I'm hesitant to bring up. It pertains to depression, which we've stated is a disability, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay. It's something with depression I personally have struggled with. It's very, very, very dark. But I don't ever plan on turning over this project to any studio, so like, that's not a barrier outside of just being potentially upsetting for people.
Yeah.
But, and today I told you already, but it's about our main character who happens to struggle with self-harm. It is not the main focus of the story or anything, but I had an idea for how another character would react to that. I want him to react the wrong way, quote unquote, initially, but as the episode goes on, sort of realize that that's not what his friend needs, and eventually apologize and say, I shouldn't have acted that way. I'm here for you. But yeah, is that a good thing to talk about here? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. What is quote unquote the wrong way? What are you thinking?
Okay, so who here remembers the music story with the violinist?
Oh, wait, obviously I remember.
You are Alexis Incarnate. Is that why?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the character struggling with it is Alexis, our main character. And I haven't written about him much yet, but the person who walks in on that somehow is Cyrus. And his main character trait is just being angry. So he sort of reacts by like rushing in, and I haven't decided what it would be, either a lighter or a blade, but he sprints over and takes it and like scolds her. Like, no, what are you doing? Quit that. And she's just trying to say, sorry, I won't, sorry about that. I didn't know you were gonna come in. And then this isn't the first episode, by the way. This is just somewhere down the line. Like, as the episode goes on, the A plot is happening, because there's going to be something more substantial going on. But I haven't decided yet. I guess he'll keep sort of shyly asking questions, because he's not sure what to think. And like some of them are insensitive, but then he sort of gets an idea of, oh, that's not actually helping. And then by the end of the episode, he says like, sorry I acted that way. I was just scared for you. Here's my number. If you feel like doing that again, please tell me so you can do something that's not that. And this is a parallel to my own life once again that I thought might really help people, is that she says, I can't promise you that I won't do it again. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you down, so don't even ask. He says, well, no, this isn't about promising me not to do it. This is just giving you an option not to do it. There's no way you can let me down about this. I'm not part of the equation. This isn't a moral issue. This is just me wanting you to be all right. So, the question is suggestions for making him react the wrong way at first, but not make him horribly unlikable.
Let me do this shit right here. Okay.
Pull up your sleeve. Spit on your
pulling
hands.
up my sleeve if I had any.
This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I understand him reacting the wrong way, like him being sort of like scolding her, almost like she is a child, like she's done something wrong, which, yeah, technically she's done something wrong, she's hurting herself. But when you scold someone like that when they're depressed or suicidal or they're self-harming, like that makes them feel guilty and small, and it just makes it doesn't help. So I think that him scolding her, sort of almost like she is a child, like infantilizing her, or like feeling like he has some sort of command over her, like some sort of responsibility over her, might work. Something like that. It won't make him unlikable. It'll be like it comes from a good place. Like I feel like no matter what reaction, people in the audience will know it comes from a good place, but it's clearly not helping this character. You know what I mean?
One idea I had was like to even as he's yelling at her, like give nonverbal signs of fear, just because he's never dealt with this directly.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what to do. He's gonna be like trembling or like.
Depending on like what you have her do for self-harm, it could be like he flinches whenever she moves her hand near a certain place or something, like about to grab her to stop her or something like that.
Wait, who flinches? Can you say it again?
Cyrus flinches. Like if she's like moving her hand to a certain place and he almost grabs her, or like is about to yell or something like that.
Or like a Hawkeye.
Yeah, a little too vigilant when it comes to her at this current moment.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah. But, I would say sorry if you hear my cat in the background, but I say that every time, so that's my non-spoken rule. I'm gonna put it in my Discord description. Sorry if you hear my cat. But,
Perfect.
but yeah, good ideas, yeah, and then true. You do not want to make the person feel guilty. That very much does not help. So,
I also have something that, well, particularly drives me insane when somebody does that, incessantly reassuring her that he loves her. Like not in a good way, but just ending every sentence with it kind of style.
No, yeah.
You know,
That's one of
until
them.
the words just lose their meaning.
you don't have to worry about that. He's mean as a snake. He learns not to be mean, but takes him the entire series to not be mean.
Had anyone else figured it out, maybe that would have happened.
So, like, he does care about people, but early on and in the middle, even, like, any sign of affection is, like, 95% nonverbal. Just comes in, like, acts of service or thinking about someone, just being like, here, I brought this for you.
Is he Penguin Pebble?
Hey, wait, what was that?
Penguin Pebble.
Penguin Pebble.
Yeah, it's a neurodivergent love language.
Yeah.
Which is basically gift giving. But like,
that is such an adorable way of describing it. I love it.
Brought you this pebble for your pile. It looks like the other pebble in your pile, so I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, it's just smooth stones. I thought you'd like it. Like, neurotypical people would look at it and go, "You are so weird," but like, that's a way of showing love,
Yeah. I always thought so too.
Here's this dead bird I found. Here's this dead bird I found. It'll go nice with the other dead birds I gave you.
Oh my lord. It's amazing. But yeah, but you don't have to worry about...
What I was going to ask is, I don't know how to ask this. I'm really rubbish at asking questions in a delicate, sensitive way. For those that are willing to share, and you don't have to, but if you're willing to share, if you've struggled with self-harm, what things have people done that has upset you or made it worse, or, these sorts of things?
Oh, scolded me, definitely. And the other thing that I really wanted to touch on, because people think it's more helpful than it is making me promise not to do it again. Because, even as I say it, I know I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's for them. I'm trying to make them feel better.
A lot of people don't realize it, so that I think it's been proven to be as addictive as smoking.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like staring at the scars and just the change in the expression going from like trying to figure out what that is to just pity.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I was even thinking of making it a type that doesn't have scars, like maybe, I don't know, punching her legs or something. It would be nice to like address something atypical like that is not the stereotype.
For me, I recommended like pinching herself or anything that would leave like maybe reddish marks or something. But punching good. I mean, not good, but punching good.
Punching, good idea for story.
Punching good for story. Things that are like subtle or more like just kind of like, haha, she's hitting herself, so quirky of her. Like, she must have thought of something dumb. But
no. And he walked in on that. He might be even more disturbed because, like, he never would have thought of somebody doing that. You see in the media all the time of people cutting themselves or whatever. but like if he walked in on that and it's like she was doing it compulsively and couldn't stop, you would like run and be like, wait, no, what? What are you? No. But I think a lot of this depends on making him as afraid as possible to sort of explain why he reacts the wrong way. But go ahead, Eden.
How about incessantly scratching her upper legs?
That could be something. With her
Because
nails.
that can be hidden, like under pants or a skirt or something, but it's immediate access.
Mm.
And it hurts. Like, it does provide the relief of pain.
Yeah.
Way to tell on myself.
No,
That could be something.
Hunting never did it.
Also, a good way
Yeah.
to stop, by the way, is to have him realize that he needs to remind her of it unconsciously when he's not there. So maybe draw a picture on the place that she would hurt herself on, and when she sees it, she would be reminded of him and not wanting him to do that, but in like a nice way.
Yeah, it could be like a little sticky note put on her fridge, his number.
Yeah. It does actually. His number, and then like, I don't know, at some point when he's in her apartment for whatever reason, maybe he just leaves a sticky note on the mirror that doesn't say anything particularly reassuring, but it's throughout the thing they sort of have like a student-teacher relationship almost. And it's a whole thing. But I think if he were to do that, leave a sticky note on her mirror to sort of indirectly remind her that she doesn't need to hurt herself, it would be something about her self-worth. But
there are two things I want to address in chat. Again, if you don't feel obligated to answer these questions, you don't have to admit to self-harm or anything like that if it's going to leave you in a more vulnerable place. And the other thing I was going to say, just about using a rubber band. I don't know, it's sort of, sorry, lost my train of thought. Flicking a rubber band isn't always considered self-harm. It's often seen as a recovery from self-harm, as a more, a better alternative. It's sort of halfway between self-harm and not. I don't know how to better explain that. But I just wanted to point that out because it was put as a suggestion of self-harm, I think. But yeah, again, just to reiterate, if you don't want to, if you're struggling to talk about this topic, there's no pressure to.
No, I think people should be talking about it. There are a lot of things that I have actually been helped in by hearing people talk about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, but I think sometimes admitting it is very emotionally unsettling. I remember when I was first talking about disability, it was very emotional for me because I'd been taught to hide it away for so long. And I've spoken to other people who've had that exact experience. Sometimes if you don't talk about things and then you just talk about it and let it all out, it can leave you unsettled afterwards, like emotionally. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
But absolutely, it is important to talk about these things.
I end up talking about emotional things here all the time, and they always make me cry, but no one needs to know that. But it's sort of
but
like
you guys don't have to feel obligated to do it, I think is the point.
yeah, that's the point. But it is a safe place. I know it started because I said the thing, but it is a safe place to discuss it here because everyone's real nice.
Yeah.
And this is for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
we all deserve a hug.
Yeah.
Hug. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Continue.
Vigimorph has something they struggled with too, yeah. Yeah, all of these are like worthy of representation, clearly. But like the more obscure ones that aren't like, I don't know, skin breaching, so to speak, like, or just ones that don't have visible evidence after the fact. It would be nice.
One, biting your inner lip.
Oh yeah, that one's like really difficult because you can do it very easily without anyone seeing, and then people would just think you're eating your lip skin.
Yeah.
Like a quirky little guy, I guess.
Yeah. And it also heals up pretty well, so in a week you can do it again.
Yeah. I guess the only sign would just be like some blood in the moment if you go really deep. Biting is one. Biting could be like really disturbing. It's not trying to like make it a spectacle or anything, but I think if somehow I could make it a little more, catch Cyrus a little bit more off guard, he would like have more of a journey, and Alexis would find it even harder to explain what causes her to do that. And so the greater the rift in the beginning, the more fulfilling it would be for them to finally understand.
Can I just suggest, because I am, with me, it always has to science. If it doesn't science, it's not correct. So your mouth is very warm inside, you know? And bleeding is like, it bleeds more when it's warm. This thing why you put cold things on a nosebleed, by the way. It helps much more than stuffing it with tissues. So how about she bites into her lip a little bit too much, and it starts just filling her mouth up with blood, and he walks on her as she is spitting it out or something. And it can be like a confusion. He can assume that she has, I don't know, tuberculosis, and there's that awkward conversation where it's, no, I'm not dying kind of thing.
Nah. It was like, I have the consumption. That would be frightening, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you don't mean just now, do you? Because maybe
I didn't
we could
do it just now.
Okay,
What?
I was about to say, you can let us know if you don't want to talk about this.
No, I'm vibing, dude. But like, I like the idea of him misunderstanding at first, and then having to have an awkward conversation with her just admitting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think that would be necessary if we wanted to get to that point. He would have to be like, oh, like it's from biting your lip. Did you have something stuck in your lip? And she would be like, I've just been feeling, pretty down today. And then he would sort of like think about it for a little bit and be like, well, that's dumb. Why would you do that? You don't hurt yourself when you're having a bad day, and like go from there. Because I really do want him to have
dialogue that would make me want to slap him. You did that well.
Just smack him. I guess inherently he has to be a bit unlikable if he's gonna be insensitive, but
but it also sounds like a knee-jerk reaction, like it just came out of his mouth without him thinking too hard about it. Like, he's
anyone could do
about
that
her as well, but also comes off as kind of a jerk.
Yeah. But yeah, and then he can learn. But like, yeah, people having knee-jerk reactions, like, while it can hurt, it's also like, that is scary to see someone in pain and they did it. So like, even if it's not helpful to the situation, like, it's hard to morally fault them for just acting out of fear. But I do definitely want to show him by the end, like, okay, that's gotta calm down. Here's how you actually handle that
So, but yeah. And I don't want to take up the entire time. In terms of closing thoughts, what do you guys think he should do at the end to sort of put a bow on it and like give?
I already
topics?
like the idea of him just like, letting her know that she can call him. To like, in case she ever feels that way, needs someone to talk to. I feel like they could have funny fucking conversations. So I think at the end you could show one of their terrible conversations, how it goes.
Yeah.
Which I think would be pretty funny for like, it'd be a funny end for something very depressing.
Yeah. If she does that, maybe she like can't bring herself to say anything, so she just says, "Oh, I just wanted to talk with you at 1:30 a.m." And he would like quietly realize, like, "Oh, okay, what do you want to talk about?" We could talk about something stupid and unrelated.
I've casually called you, like friends do. It's 1 a.m.
Yeah. I sound like I'm about to either throw up or cry. Let's talk about that Russian composer we both like. But yeah. And also, Cyrus struggles with binge drinking and smoking. And with his mentality around it, that's technically a sort of self-harm. So, like, maybe he could connect the dots there. Be like, oh, I guess a lot of people do it in different ways.
Yeah. So maybe they end up having deep conversations in the future. I don't know. I feel like they could have a really close relationship, and I feel like that's really beautiful.
Maybe Cyrus could be depressed as well, but doing what they call self-medicating, quote unquote, with the alcohol.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's more managing undiagnosed OCD and an inferiority complex. But yes, he definitely does it for not happy reasons.
And also, it would be good that he pretends, unlike her, quote unquote, that he has it all under control. Like, yes, I drink, but I only do it after 5 p.m. So I'm not an alcoholic. I do it every day after 5 p.m., but I am still not an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's how he justifies it. He is a very on the surface, like, is very competent and has his shit together and is like a master piano player. But yeah, no, he is always
people who suffer from functioning alcoholism, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
And with the piano, actually, it is linked to high intelligence, both piano playing and alcoholism.
Well, he's not very intelligent, that's part of his inferiority.
Not emotionally intelligent, which is also related to high IQ.
Oh, okay.
At least this is what he strikes me as.
Yeah, he looks like he should be smart, and all his hobbies would point to him probably needing to be smart, but he's not. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah.
The average Joe.
Average Joe. But he's still a good person, which we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, thank you guys for talking about this at length. Sorry for taking up such a big chunk of time. But this has been informative for me, and I hope some of you guys. So thank you.
If you want to talk more about it, I would love to, and you can DM me anytime unless I'm asleep.
Thank you.
I like talking about this stuff, even though it's really weird. It's sad.
Also, this is an open invitation to anybody.
Oh, yes.
Please DM me and talk about your characters with me. I love it. It makes my day.
Yeah, same. Yay! That's why I do this every week. But thank you, Gray.
Listen in. Even when we're talking about dark stuff.
Oh, yeah. I want...
That's the best part.
Yeah.
I want to go with a little bit of the discussion in chat that I was having with Willow. Slightly off topic, but only a little bit. there's a debate about whether to say when they will relapse, and this can apply to self-harm or to alcoholism or any other addiction. Should you say when or if? Like, I don't mind if you relapse, or I don't mind, I won't be upset when you relapse. Which do you think is better, just out of interest?
If like you were trying to be nice about it, you would say if. When you say when, it's like I fully expect you to relapse. I don't believe in you, kind of deal.
Yeah.
With me, I wouldn't say it at all. Not in those words. I wouldn't go when or if, or with that sentence at all. I would go something vague, but not vague at the same time. I am here for you no matter what happens, kind of way.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to say. Yeah, I guess like when I think of if it happens again, sort of thing, it's more concrete. So if it were said to me, I would just be like, yeah, okay, I'll call you. I don't know. It feels a little more comforting to me personally. Because like they know it's gonna happen, which is understandable because like I did that thing, you know. But it's also like if it happens again, which is like you believe in me at least a little bit, and I appreciate that, and I will contact you.
Also,
kind of thing.
Also, these people that reach out, they are incessant in apologizing for it. So there can be a conversation where she learns to say thank you instead of sorry. Like instead of saying sorry, I called you at 2 a.m., it's gonna be thank you for picking up the phone at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I think someone told me to stop apologizing and was like, say thank you. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Let's interpret that as the character saying, hey, thanks for letting me wake you up in the middle of the night whenever I feel like it.
I really like the idea.
That's the way my mind interprets saying thank you to doing such a thing. Thanks for letting me wake you up and ruin all your sleep.
No, dude, I am thankful for that.
I do like the idea of her not saying it directly, like whenever they, I don't know, end up finishing the conversation like half an hour later, she can just simply say thank you. You can say, yeah, you're welcome. And they can both know what that means without saying it. Kinda.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking about Pushkin with me for 2 hours in the dead of the night.
Exactly. They both would love Pushkin and Goggle and like a zillion million other obscure Russian shit that we don't have time to go into. But yeah.
Actually, the talk about the cat reminded me of Pushkin because my dad's cat is called Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin.
Oh, I love that. He didn't... No, I don't think he wrote The Nose. Who wrote The Nose, the short story? I think it might have been Gogol. This is interesting. We can talk about it later. It doesn't have to do with
Have the authority on this. Kako Kereirusak napsal nos?
Oh, damn. I don't understand, but it's impressive to me.
I am impressed.
Sweet. Well, yeah. Stage is back open for all intents and purposes. I think. I don't want to overrule Joel.
I am so sorry. I went to ask my aunt because she has a degree in Russian literature and she doesn't know who wrote The Nose.
That's okay. I'm kidding. It's okay.
Also, I forgot to mute when I screamed to get her attention. Sorry about that.
We were just confused that what?
I just thought you were being cool.
Jesus Christ! You go on and quit complimenting me because I'm gonna. Oh God! I'm gonna get a heat stroke.
Oh.
Oh boy.
No, I'll keep complimenting you. But yeah, lore. Hi. I'm not doing anything.
Anyone else?
There is a topic I do want to talk about because it's a topic I do want to write about. I know, and because it kind of just got fired up as a spark, I don't know, earlier in the week because it was brought up in the channel, and that is autism, writing an autistic character. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, don't write one if you aren't, so I've been shying away from the thought of it, but it's certainly something that I would like to explore or talk about to some degree, if that's all right.
I would say
Talk
maybe
about
don't
it.
write one if you don't have one to consult with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's silly to tell you not to write one at all.
that is silly. In my
I'm just
opinion.
wondering about insights about it, if anyone knows, because I know very little, and I suppose I could do my research. I guess the topic is now about writing about topics you're not intimate with in this regard, because these are very touchy subjects, these disabilities, all of them.
Yeah,
would-
and like
Go,
Sorry.
designer.
okay, consulting, like Eden said, consulting with someone who does have the disability, or at least reading about people who do have the disability, will help. You could try modeling it off of a specific person to help you along, I think, as long as like if there's someone online that has posted their story on, like, let's say Reddit, then free game. If it's someone you know personally, maybe just ask them about it and be like, hey, I'm gonna probably base this character off a little bit. That chill, we good? Maybe something like that. I forgot everything I was saying. Go, Joe.
I don't even
So
have a
slowly raise his hand.
Go.
You have an autistic person here in this chat right here, so if you have any questions, I am an open book. I don't care.
I'll reach out at some point. I'm kind of in the process of writing too many stories as is, so
Oh, do I know that?
I'm gonna overwhelm myself. I'm gonna burn myself out. Like I'm gonna catch fire somehow.
I'll let you know if I'm
myself. It's
autistic.
just going to spontaneously happen. I'm gonna combust.
Dan, I shall let you know if I'm autistic after I get diagnosed. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a lot of neurodiverse people here. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I would agree with the consensus. You know, as a writer, you have to do your research anyway. Like to some extent, like you know, the people who write bank heists, I presume they've not actually robbed banks, so you know they would have to do the research into that. And in a similar way, you would have to look into the disability and work out their character and how much their disability will affect their character and so on. So I yes, it is better that autistic people write autistic characters, but it's not bad for allistic, i.e. not autistic people, to write autistic characters.
I honestly think telling someone if you don't have something or are not something, you should not be allowed to write it is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
No matter where you start, because it starts with saying you can't write an autistic person. It ends with saying you can't write somebody who's a different gender than you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing exactly.
Your movie has to be a no girls club.
Complete sausage
No
fest.
girls allowed. No
Everyone's the
girls
same age.
allowed.
And hang on, I had something. Yeah, like researching, as Joel said, like anything you're unfamiliar with, your story in a submarine, in the, like, can submarines get into the abyssal zone? I don't know. A submarine deep in the ocean, trying to make sure you get the technicalities right, the equipment, the procedures, like, it would of course do research for that. And it's like the same thing except with people, and also there's higher stakes. So just like, meet people with it, talk about it, do your research. And ask for reference if you think something is off. Just check with somebody. Which would be difficult back in the day, but now we have the internet, which is good.
So
By
if
the
you
way-
write them-
Sorry. You first.
Nah, I was just gonna threaten him. If you write them as the villain, I'll come find you.
By the way, while we were talking, I muted and I did some research, and I think pyrope is a very good gem to use instead of milk chocolate. What do you guys think?
Oh, you changed the conversation. Sorry, I didn't think we'd finished the
Ooh,
previous one.
tiger
So
eye looks delicious. Tiger eye looking kind of yummy.
Right? It looks exactly like chocolate. I would put it in my mouth.
To be
Exactly.
fair, all of these are filled with nutritious minerals.
These are all delicious looking.
I'm not
Anyway,
apologizing for that terrible
Forbidden
pun, by the
candy.
way.
pyrope. Let me see this. Pyrope instead of what?
Instead of milk chocolate as a description of a skin tone.
Oh yeah, you were gonna use milk chocolate? Oh god. Pyrope. Let's see. How do people describe skin tone? And do you need to?
Unless I absolutely have to, I don't.
I am actually writing a novel, not a screenplay,
Oh, it's
so
a novel.
I kind of
Okay.
have to.
I understand. Okay. Let's see. I think that maybe comparing them to minerals is kind of weird too. But personally, I think it's kind of pretty.
Of course.
I got a resource here in this chat from Zach, who isn't here anymore, but thank you, Zach, anyway. And that was a people of color, that person of color. Words are hard. I'm sorry. And they said that it is a good alternative to use gemstones.
Use gemstones. Yeah, it's pretty.
Foods and
Okay.
spices are a no-no. Flowers and gemstones are yeah. And also, pyrope is kind of a obscure stone, so it would point to the narrator's intellect of knowing various gemstones as well. And it would maybe prompt the reader to do some research, like Google it or something.
No, yeah. People say copper, bronze, and all this shit. A golden skin tone, all this stuff. So yeah, I'd say go for it. Ebony, onyx. Sorry, I'm looking it up right now. Bronze. Yeah. Bronze might be a good replacement for pyro. Bronze skin. I don't know. Seems similar in color.
I think it's a good descriptor because I'm specifically going for this like warm brown kind of like I want to say milk chocolate, but I'm forbidden from saying that, you know. So this is the closest I got for my specific vision. Like when I close my eyes, I see them like this.
No, I got you. Yeah, people make
I
that
don't understand
thing.
why. I may have missed it, but why is it bad to compare skin tones to food?
According to the article I read, it is very close to fetishizing. Like, I want me some of that milk chocolate, you know, kind of.
Yeah, like
thing.
some people like to be weird about, you know, dark chocolate. It's like, okay.
There was also another link to cocoa, which was imported during slavery and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, that too. It is a reference to the slave trade. That was also in the article. Like, no chocolate, no cocoa.
Oh, yeah, see, I don't know much about anything. I just know that it makes me uncomfortable.
I can send you the link to that article. It's up high in the chat here. But let me.
Seems like one of those things that isn't bad in a vacuum, but then you put it in context and it's like, dang, probably don't want to do that.
There's the article.
Thank you. I will read about my histories.
It's a two-parter, and the second part is even larger and even more informative. It tickles my tism so much. I love it.
Tickle my tizzle. I gotcha. Thank
Also,
you. I should read that.
This is why I don't do research on my own, and I usually ask my future husband to do it, because if I Google something, I will fall down a rabbit hole and emerge 3 days later having learned to talk to giraffes.
Bro.
Oh no,
Yeah,
how horrible that would be to have an amazing skill talking to giraffes and using them to take over the world. What?
Yeah, exactly. See, like, you gain some useful skills by going down a rabbit hole.
If you want to take over the world, I would suggest crows instead of giraffes, because crows be smart and they can befriend wolves, and then you'll have a pack of wolves and a murder of crows, and you'll be set for life.
Yeah, but how do you get wolves, giraffes, and crows out of a rabbit hole? There ain't no rabbits in there if there's...
With a touch of the tism, you can do anything.
Magic. Please link this rabbit hole. Yeah. What were we talking about?
Yeah, we did go.
I forgot.
Oh, Dan, you tickled me with that. I think we'll talk about autism. Rabbit hole. Yeah, we didn't go too far off topic. I think I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I think that it's important that you do your own research. And when I've written about people with disabilities in the past, I tend to use, go through social media, TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and things like that. Because you'll find quite a few, vloggers talking about their mental health or, these sorts of things. I'm sure there'll be some for autism and,
I'll say Reddit is a very good place for, people talking about their experiences, because there's different subreddits, so you could just go to, the autism subreddit and just be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, basically use social media, because I think not that anyone uses books anymore, but if you did use a book, you'd probably get a very clinical, professional side rather than lived experience. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the clinical side. You want the people side, where they do people things.
You're not going to get the clinical side. You're going to get the cynical side.
The cynical side. Thanks, Dan.
I've been on Reddit long enough to know better.
No, that's the best thing, because if a person is able to talk about their particular parentheses disability, it's the greatest thing you can have. Like, even making jokes about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna write about fucking ADHD, and then I'm gonna ask myself questions so I can revel in my sadness. I'm gonna write about that. That's what I've decided, because I don't really see a lot of things about ADHD, and usually they're just jokes of, ooh, a butterfly, and it's like, okay, thanks. I did see one time. Huh?
You know what? Every time somebody talks about ADHD and they want to know what it's like, I tell a specific story, because I got ADHD on top of my tism, and it is one day I was so hyper focused, I pulled out a chair and I smacked my finger. I didn't realize I did it. I did something for 2 hours, and then I looked at that specific finger, and it was the size and color of an aubergine.
Just know that I could do something all day, and then I would forget to eat or pee.
That too.
I would just forget to do literally anything, and then it's like, oh, I haven't eaten today. I'm going to bed.
I forgot to eat for 3 days and fainted. I know the feeling.
Oh shit, dude. I hope I don't go that far, but yeah, I've been forgetting to eat.
I have the opposite problem where I forget to stop eat.
Oh.
Everybody always makes that joke. God damn it.
Really? It's the first time I've ever heard that joke, especially in that broken of English on purpose.
My thing is weird movements.
Yeah.
And I see like other people do it in the wild too. I assume they're autistic. I don't know for a fact, but like galloping, like people just deciding while they're walking that, you know, for like my whole childhood, I just had to do it sometimes. I just had to gallop like a horse.
You mean put a little skip in your step?
Yeah, a little what?
More like a skip in your step?
Yeah, just like kind of hop.
Not like you're getting on all four legs.
Not all four legs.
Not all four legs.
No, you're obviously
bigger
going all
problem.
fours when you're going up the stairs.
But yeah, but I just learned to do it in the dark by myself now.
No, yeah, I had a friend who would gallop in place, and I was like, haha, you're hyper. When I was younger, when I was like a young kid, she would gallop in place, and I was just like, oh, that's fun. I don't know if she was autistic or not, but it was fun to look at, I guess. I do not gallop in place, but I like to walk around to expend energy when I'm talking to people, and I think that's like the teen girl stereotype in movies. So I'm just a teenage girl. I'm just a cute little teenage girl.
I cannot have a phone conversation standing still. I have to pace around like a hungry wolf.
Are you doing it right now?
No, because there's a difference. Here comes the tism. There's a difference. This is not a phone conversation. I am not physically holding a device to my ear. I have headphones.
I think I got excited yesterday because I played a new game. I was about to play a new game, so I just kept walking around and talking, and I was like out of breath. There are times where I get so excited about something that I get lightheaded. Very fun.
Is it like you stand up too eagerly, or is it like the heart starts pounding so much you feel like you're going to faint?
Kind of like you stand up too quickly. Like I just get out of breath and I'm just like, oh, I'm dizzy. Give me a minute. But I haven't talked about something I was interested in a long time.
Also, do you have that one food you eat that one specific way that people look at you weird for?
I think so. Like I'll eat like fucking shrimp with ketchup or something, and I think they think it's weird. But like, what am I gonna eat it with? You know, ketchup.
French fries and caramel, best thing ever, by the way. But no, I meant like when I eat peanuts, I always take the full ones, the whole ones, the ones that are not separated into halves.
Well,
I
know what I do.
them, and I take the little thingy that's inside of them, and I tuck it away in my mouth, and I collect 6 of those thingies, and then I separate them 3 by 3 on the sides of my mouth and chew it that way.
You're just a fucking chipmunk. You're a little squirrel. Anyway, okay.
Yes. Also, if your TISM diagnosis comes back negative, I will eat a hairbrush.
Thanks. I eat bananas weirdly. I never eat the tip top of it, and I never eat the very bottom of it. I always take it off because I just think it's fucking weird. So
I hate bananas with a burning passion, mainly because they're yellow.
I like them because they're yellow.
I
want to ask anyone else if they had questions.
Yeah, I was just about to move it on. I wanted to leave it for a bit.
Okay.
I wanted to leave it for a bit so that you could, share experiences and stuff, because that's part of the reason for this workshop. But at the same time, yeah, if anyone has anything they want help with, I'm sorry. I feel bad for interrupting these conversations. But yeah, if anyone wants any help with characters or with anything, Apparently not. Alternatively, I don't know who left or who joined, but hello and
I think
goodbye
it
and
was
hello.
Eden. I think they misunderstood my instructions. Hi, Eden.
Discord crashed.
Oh
My
no.
Discord crashed for a
Um,
second. I am so sorry.
no worries, it's
I
good,
thought
it's
I
good.
misled you.
Wow, I'm distracted so easily, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, brain. Yeah, oh, if anyone has anything they want help with, alternatively, has anyone seen disability in the media and want to talk about it?
I remember, because we were talking about ADHD and autism, I remembered watching this cartoon called Arlo the Alligator, the Alligator Boy, which was a movie before, and it's a good movie, and there's one character with ADHD. I don't know if they represented it that well, but she was a fun character anyway. I think they represented it as best as they could for a cartoon like that, which is just like everything going slow while you're going like fast as fuck, boy. And it's just like, I think they're more like representing the impatience, the absolute impatience and the boredom that comes with it, and the need for stimuli and all this shit. And she's like the hyperactive kind, so it's like very hard for her. And like she kept taking on more and more tasks, and it like kept building up, and she couldn't do them all, kind of thing. And I'm gonna cry. I'm kidding. No. But it's an adorable cartoon, and that episode was pretty good. So Arlo the Alligator Boy, very good cartoon, very good movie. Watch the movie or I will be upset. I'll be very cross. Good movie.
I just finished Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin, and they never say it. It was wonderful. They never say it. It's like one of those sort of coded situations, but the main character has a vivid imagination. She's not great with people, and once you get her started talking about something she cares about, she just doesn't stop at like lightning speed. She's a bullet train, and like could just as easily say, this happens to be a socially awkward, passionate person. But regardless, it's nice to see someone even tangentially related to maybe having some autistic traits in media and anime even. It was an anime. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I think there might be a lot of autistic coded characters in anime. Can't tell you who right now. But happens more than you think. Naruto.
When you think about most anime protagonists, they are literally so focused on everything, on their one main task, and they don't care about anything else. They just want to, I want to be the one who fights or does the writing machine or the archer master. I don't care about anything. I don't even care about girls. In fact, I'm afraid of them sometimes.
Are you saying that the protagonist thing is their special interest? I never thought of it like that. That's intriguing.
Yeah. Oh, y'all with your 3-act structure and your one goal. Your characters are hyper-focused. But I think I remember watching something. Do I remember? Oh shit. Someone else go. Someone else go, please. I don't remember.
Sorry, I'm looking for that funny VR meme where Hank Hill says he's going to be the next Hokage. Searching really, really rapidly.
I'm intrigued.
Damn it. Dang it. I typed in the name of the thing.
Also, Lasagna, I crashed because I attempted to send you a friend request. I hope it's not a bad omen, and I wanted to ask if it's okay to send you a friend request, but then Discord decided, no, F you, Eden.
Here, I add you. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Okay. What was I gonna Right, yeah. Anime characters kind of do have that whole special interest thing going on for them. One true goal. Oh, right, I was about to talk about One Punch Man. I mean, that guy fucking did like 100 push ups, 100 sit ups, 100-kilometer run thingy, whatever. I don't know my measurements. Which is like, man, dude, chill out. So I was wondering if maybe like he could count as something.
You know what?
Like,
That's probably a cure for anxiety because anxious people tend to do self-exerting things to relieve the anxiety. But a lot of runners are actually anxious, but the running exerts them enough that it releases endorphins.
Oh, I should start running. Damn. You're right, though. I don't know. There's a lot of things that like clear up my anxiety, and I just don't do them enough.
Oh, by the way, if you're having an anxiety-induced panic attack, start doing math. It will go away. I don't know how it works.
It'll make my head hurt. But yeah.
Maladaptive daydreaming. That is how I came up with the idea for my pilot.
We love
That is how I come up with all of my characters.
Exactly.
Same though.
Like, it's come to the point where somebody invites me to play D&D as a character, not as a DM, and I just summon all of the people in my head, for lack of a better word, throw a stone into the crowd, and pick the one that yells, ow.
I had a backache yesterday, and like whenever I just want something to happen in real life, like characters comfort each other when they're crying, or giving their one a massage, or having an argument and then working it out, I just think of the characters do it, and it's like I'm doing it in real life. That sounds so sad, and it is, but it's what I do.
I think sometimes I do the same thing. It's sort of just, you imagine your character in these sort of situations, these mundane situations, like how did they react? I don't know. And it's fun, in my opinion.
Thing, this like a box of little papers, and these papers contain questions starting with what would your character do if, and it's like I'm gonna say 75 different questions, and I can answer any of them for any of my characters.
I could come up with an answer on the spot because that's just what I do. But I've done like a little character interview before. I took questions from online and I was like, this one sounds good. And then I like wrote a script of me interviewing my character. Well, not me.
I would love to read
that. Yeah, I'll give it to you sometime. I'm a little shy, but I'll give it to you.
I'll give you my writing if you give me yours.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't have much to say about questions or anything because I've been not doing anything because I've been like decompressing for like a week. I'm recuperating from my writing injury. Okay. But someone just joined. Do you have any questions, someone who just joined?
Welcome, Brock. Sorry, I didn't see... I saw you join, but we were in conversation at the time. Do you have anything you would like help with in terms of disabled characters or writing or anything like that? I'm not sure if you are speaking, if you are currently muted. You're more than welcome to join in, or you can leave, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, maladaptive daydreaming is, interesting.
So they left. Maybe we smell bad.
I might do.
How does it manifest for you, Joel?
The number of times my mum has caught me, like, smiling at myself. Well, not at myself, but smiling by myself. And she's like, what world are you in? Not this one.
That's so annoying. You like when you see it in the media, the person who talks to themselves or laugh when nothing happens, like, oh my god, serial killer could snap at any moment. But like, I was just thinking, man.
Like this movie.
Like I
Yeah.
had something silly in my head, a character like tripped and landed in lime gelatin, and you're gonna tell me I'm gonna hurt somebody?
Yeah.
Right?
I was just talking
Like,
to
I
my
thought-
girlfriend, who is
Yeah.
my fictional girlfriend, who is based off of a girl I had a crush on when I was 11 years old.
And now I will never introduce you because you are so mean to her. You're acting like she's not even there.
So fucking rude. She was sitting there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
I just look really depressed. I just look really depressed, and then they're like, "Are you okay?" And like, "Hello, hello, hello." I'm like, "Huh? What?"
Yeah. Oh, it's so irritating when you're on the bus and someone sits in a space where your maladaptive character was sitting. We just sit right on their lap. Yeah.
I practiced the lines just out loud, and I think I wrote it in my phone notes, but it was something like, I don't know, what's the most messed up, weird search term you've ever heard of in your life? Like, let's make one up.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Sorry.
How
It's
much
hard to come up
force
with
would
messed up
it
stuff.
take for a human femur to shatter? Totally not from my own research.
Yeah. Imagine like someone saying that, and then one of my characters saying, there's got to be a term for it, and the other one's like, I think my entire faith in humanity hinges on there not being a term for it. And like, I just said that out loud over and over, trying to get the tone exactly right, just alone in my car.
I guess like when I read my scripts, I end up like saying a line over and over again just to process it or something. And I'm just like, does that sound right? Is this correct? I don't know, but I think that's what most people should do. You should do that all the time. And then there's always talking to yourself. And I don't know what I do when I talk to myself. I just talk to myself. I don't know. But
I had my husband read out the whole entirety of what I wrote to me so I can hear it in another person's voice and process it, and just it feels it's so much better when another person does it and you can just passively listen to it, because you can tell what feels wrong in the writing. You can criticize yourself pretty much.
that's what we have table reads for. In an animation group, we read scripts like all the time. You should come to table reads.
Even the structure of the like sounds in the words, like it could suit what you want to say perfectly, but if the word before it ends in a vowel and the next one starts with a vowel, it could be like hard to say with flow.
I just have a pet peeve with repeating a word. Like it could be then, and then you could say then and like the next sentence over, but I'd be bothered by it. So when I do dialogue or I do action lines, I avoid it as much as possible because it makes me upset. I don't know if that's related to anything. I just said words. I'm sorry.
That's it.
I'm saying words today. I don't know what's happening. I don't have somebody else go. I don't have words to say anymore.
You reminded me of a passage in my work about the repeating words. Let me just find that. No. Where is it?
Welcome, Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's questions.
Oh, here it is. Ro was interrupted by Win, who just started to say the word no repeatedly. Every time Ro took a breath to speak, he kept going. It took several minutes. You know, I may be the youngest of the three of us, but they certainly take the immaturity cake. I didn't want to put it into dialogue, just him going, no, 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 so I wrote it like this.
I think you did good. That's better than going no, 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 no.
Because in my olden days, I would write it out like a back and forth dialogue. So we sneak into the no, 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 the storage, no, 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 you know. But this just, I've matured.
You've grown as a person. But yeah, welcome, Kevin. I'm not the host.
I am the host. Is there anything that you would like us to look at? Actually, it's already gone the hour, and it is fantasy group time, and I am meant to be leaving the house in half hour, so I will not open the floor right now. Unfortunately, you arrived at the end, but you're more than welcome to come back next week.
No, yeah. I came for the fan.
Oh yeah, this isn't fantasy.
Oh well, I came for fantasy, and I saw everyone else was hanging out here.
No, fantasy is in WordCamp at the moment.
Eden, do you want to go to writer's room?
Yes.
Yes, let's go, Eden.
Have a wonderful week, everyone, and we will see you next week on WordCamp.
Woo! Thanks, Joe.
Oh.
Is that the... That's it for Disability in Screenwriting this week. Hopefully you can join us next week at the same time, 8 AM Pacific, 11 AM Eastern, 4 PM in London time, and we will be on WordCamp, again doing the same sort of thing, looking at other people's work, particularly prose, and any other form of media pretty much. See you next week.